She moves with self-belief, not self-doubt. That's the difference between existing and living. See, self-belief is something you build brick by brick, moment by moment. It's not something you post online or dress up to show off. It's something you become. It's the voice inside that whispers, "I got this," even when the world screams you don't. Confidence don't come from what you wear. It comes from what you know about yourself. It's the quiet understanding that your value ain't dependent on who notices you, claps for you, or validates you. When she walks, she's not looking to see if they watching. She already knows she the light. She's just letting them catch up to her frequency. That's divine energy right there. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that radiates. See, a woman with self-belief doesn't beg for space. She creates it. She doesn't force love, she inspires it. She doesn't demand respect, she embodies it. Her aura says everything her words never need to. You can't fake that. You can wear all the designer, speak the right words, mimic the confidence. But if you don't feel it in your soul, the world can sense the difference. Real confidence ain't loud, it's consistent. It's the discipline to show up when nobody's cheering. It's waking up on days when you feel invisible and saying, "I'm still enough." That kind of self-belief, it's not built overnight, it's built in silence through trials, heartbreaks, failures, and bounce backs. It's built in moments where she could have quit, but didn't. You ever notice how life tests you right before it blesses you? That's when self-belief matters the most. It's when you broke but still move like you wealthy in spirit. When they overlook you but you still prepare like opportunities around the corner. When the world doubts you but you keep planting seeds knowing your time gonna come. That's self-belief. It's the faith that what you're building, what you're becoming, can't be taken from you. You can't borrow that from nobody. You can't fake it. You can't dress it up. It's something you earn through every storm that tried to drown you but couldn't. People feel that. Energy don't lie. When someone's done the inner work, when they've faced their pain, forgiven themselves, and rebuilt from the inside out, that energy speaks louder than any words ever could. She learned to stop needing people to remind her who she was. She started reminding herself. Every no she got became fuel. Every door that closed became redirection. Every doubt became motivation. That's why her walk different now. That's why her eyes got peace in them. That's why when she enters a room, she don't gotta do too much. Her presence already told the story. And the thing about real self-belief is, it doesn't mean she never doubts. It means she doesn't live there. She feels the fear. She faces the insecurity. But she keeps moving anyway. That's courage. It's not about never falling. It's about never staying down. When you know who you are, even your silence carries weight. Self-belief is like gravity. You can't fake it. You can't see it. But everything around it moves because of it. It pulls in people, opportunities, and blessings that match your energy. When you start believing in yourself, you start teaching the world how to treat you. You stop chasing validation and start attracting respect. You stop begging for love and start radiating it. You ever meet somebody who's been through so much, but they still walk like they undefeated? That's self-belief. That's knowing that every pain was a lesson, not a punishment. That every loss was a setup for something greater. She's not scared of falling anymore, because she's learned how to rise. And that's why the ones who shine effortlessly, they not competing, they completed themselves first. They looked in the mirror and stopped seeing what they lacked and started seeing what they carry. They realized that beauty ain't just in how you look, it's in how you move, how you speak, how you handle pressure. Self-belief is power. It's when you walk in rooms knowing you belong there, even if no one else sees it yet. It's when you keep your head high, not because you're arrogant, but because you refuse to shrink to make others comfortable. She moves with that kind of confidence. She don't need a crown to feel like a queen. Her energy already wears one. She's not out here trying to prove herself. She's out here improving herself. Every season, every chapter, she's growing, evolving, learning. She knows that her worth isn't in her looks, her followers, or her possessions. It's in her essence. And once you realize that, nobody can take it from you. That's the real flex piece. That's the real glow, healing. That's the real power, alignment. She understands that comparison kills confidence. So she stopped measuring her journey against someone else's timeline. She started focusing on her lane, her purpose, her pace. That's when everything started shifting. Because when you stop trying to prove and start trying to grow, the right energy finds you. And people feel that energy. They don't always know why, but they're drawn to it because it's real. It's rare. It's rooted in something deeper than trends. It's built from truth. That's why she don't chase. She attracts. That's why she don't try. She just is. That's why her silence says more than other people's noise. Because when you're grounded in who you are, you don't have to scream for attention. Your peace speaks louder. Self-belief don't make life easy, but it makes you unshakable. It makes you walk through storms with grace, through pressure with patience, through hate with love. It's not about ego. It's about alignment. It's knowing that even when it don't make sense, it's still working in your favor. So she moves different. Her energy hit different. Her focus lift. And when you see her win, understand it's not luck. It's not charm. It's faith, consistency, and self-belief that built that. That's why she attracted without trying. Because she already became what she was seeking. She didn't chase validation. She became valuable. She didn't wait to be chosen. She chose herself. And once you do that, the world gotta catch up. She values energy over attention, and that's where her real power lies. See, attention is the cheapest currency in the world right now. Everybody chasing it, begging for it, fighting for it. But energy is sacred. You can't buy it, you can't fake it, and you can't hustle your way into keeping it if you're not aligned with yourself. That's what makes her different. She's not moved by who's watching, who's liking, or who's clapping. She's moved by alignment, by how something feels to her spirit. See, attention is easy. Anybody can get that. Post something flashy, move loud, do the most. It don't take much to make noise. But keeping your energy pure, keeping your peace intact, that's the real challenge. That's where maturity kicks in. Because when she learned her value, she stopped entertaining everything that was cheap. She started realizing that every eye that sees her don't deserve to know her. Access became something earned, not given. She's selective now with her time, her space, her peace. Not because she's cold, but because she finally understands the cost of letting the wrong people in. Every conversation, every interaction, every vibe either feeds you or drains you. And once you've experienced peace, chaos just don't feel the same no more. She learned to protect that peace like it's gold, because it is. That's the difference between being seen and being respected. Anybody can be seen, but not everybody's presence commands respect. See, respect comes when your energy speaks louder than your ego. When you don't gotta prove your worth, you just embody it. When you walk into a room and people feel something shift, that's energy. You can't manufacture that. You either carry it or you don't, and that's why she don't chase attention. She understands that attention fades. Today they love you, tomorrow they forget you. That's the game of validation. But energy leaves an imprint. It lingers. People may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how your energy made them feel. When you move from peace instead of thirst, you attract what's meant for you. You stop forcing connections that drain you. You stop showing up for people who wouldn't do the same. You stop giving explanations to those who already made up their mind about you. You start realizing that what's meant for you don't need convincing. It flows. It fits. It brings clarity, not confusion. And that kind of energy, it's rare in a world obsessed with being seen. She's mastering the art of being felt. That's why people can't stop thinking about her even after she leaves. Her vibe got memory, her presence got frequency. Because she don't move to impress, she moves to impact. She's grounded in something deeper. She knows attention can make you popular, but it can't make you peaceful. It can make you visible, but it can't make you valuable. Value comes from the energy you carry, the principles you stand on, the way you show up when nobody's watching. That's why she stopped performing for approval. She started living for peace. And once you do that, everything changes. You start walking away from what drains you. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who ain't even listening. You stop chasing love that makes you forget who you are. She's learned to say no without guilt and yes with intention, because protecting your energy ain't selfish, it's survival. She used to think love meant giving endlessly. Now she knows real love includes boundaries. She used to think being available made her loyal. Now she knows that overextending yourself makes you empty. That's growth. When you realize that your energy is your responsibility, you decide who gets access to it. You decide what deserves your focus. You decide what's worth your peace. And when she started moving like that, her whole aura shifted. She became magnetic, not because she was chasing, but because she was centered. People started noticing her without her trying. That's the paradox. The moment you stop seeking attention, that's when attention starts seeking you, because authenticity can't be ignored, and she knows that the world's addicted to validation. People will do anything to be seen, even if it means losing themselves in the process. But she's not built like that. She's not for sale. She's not performing for claps. She's not chasing numbers. She's building something real, energy that lasts when the spotlight fades. She's aware that the loudest ones usually hide the most emptiness, so she moves quiet. She lets her energy speak. Her silence got substance. Her peace got power. She don't need to announce her blessings. They announce themselves when the time's right. See, when you value energy over attention, you stop moving in reaction. You start moving with intention. You no longer care about proving you're doing well. You just do well. You no longer care if they believe in you. You believe in you. You no longer compete, because you realize what's yours is already yours. That kind of inner stillness, that calm confidence, it's attractive because it's rare. People can't figure it out, and that's what draws them in. They feel safe around it. They feel inspired by it, because in a world full of noise, her quiet confidence feels like truth. She's mastered the art of detachment, not the cold kind, the peaceful kind, the kind that says, I don't need to force anything that's not aligned with me. The kind that trusts timing, that trusts God, that trusts energy. She understands that what's real will find her, and what's not will fall away. That's power, trusting the flow instead of chasing control. And because she values energy, she can walk away from anything that disturbs it. No drama, no explanations, no guilt, just distance. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. That's the kind of self-respect that attracts peace, stability, and love that's real. People ask her, how do you attract so much without even trying? And she smiles, because the answer is simple. She stopped trying to be seen and started being whole. She stopped chasing noise and started protecting silence. She stopped chasing attention and started nurturing energy. Energy don't need an announcement. It introduces you before you speak. The way you carry yourself, the way you treat people, the way you walk through life, That's your message. You don't gotta explain your worth when you're living in alignment with it. And that's why she's so powerful, because she knows her energy is her empire. She guards it, builds it, and protects it like it's sacred, because it is. And when you move like that, you attract everything that matches that frequency. You attract peace, purpose, and love that feels like home. That's the difference between attention and energy. Attention is temporary. Energy is eternal. Attention fades when the lights go off. Energy lasts long after you've left the room. And that's why she wins quietly, gracefully, effortlessly. Because she values what the world forgot, how to honor the power of her energy. She's purpose-driven, not people-driven. That's a whole different frequency right there. See, when a woman knows her why, her how starts taking care of itself, she ain't out here chasing validation, chasing crowds, or chasing love that makes her forget who she is. She's chasing growth. She's chasing alignment. She's chasing that version of herself that she saw in her dreams but ain't fully met yet. She don't move to impress. She moves to impact. There's a difference between looking successful and being fulfilled. The world will sell you the first one, but she's out here building the second. 'Cause when you're living in purpose, your life got depth to it. Every move got meaning. Every sacrifice got a reason. Every late night, every quiet grind, every lonely season, it's all connected to something bigger than applause. See, purpose gives her direction. It's like GPS for the soul. She don't wake up wondering what she's supposed to do. She knows she's not waiting for people to believe in her before she starts moving. She's already in motion. And that's the thing about purpose. It don't need permission. It don't need hype. It just needs faith and consistency. When a woman's purpose is clear, her path starts attracting everything she needs. People, opportunities, resources, abundance. They start showing up not because she's lucky, but because she's aligned. Life got a way of responding when your energy and your effort match your mission. You stop chasing and you start magnetizing. You stop begging for doors to open. And you start realizing some of them were waiting for you to knock with confidence. I've seen it happen. Women who used to run behind people, trying to be accepted, trying to be seen. But the moment they turned that energy inward, the moment they started running toward their goals instead of toward approval, everything shifted, their glow changed, their focus sharpened. The world started noticing, not because they were louder, but because they were finally clear. Purpose creates momentum. It's that invisible current that keeps you moving even when the world tries to slow you down. When you got purpose, you can't stay stuck too long. You might stumble, but you can't settle. You might get tired, but you don't quit, because you understand you're not just existing, you're becoming. And here's what's real. When you're purpose-driven, not everybody's going to understand you. Some people will think you've changed, but what they don't realize is you're just evolving. You can't stay in the same circles when your vision grows beyond small talk. You can't stay in the same spaces when your peace becomes more valuable than popularity. You start realizing that not everyone can go where you're headed, and that's okay. Purpose requires separation before elevation. Being purpose-driven means you make decisions differently. You don't chase moments, you build legacies. You don't settle for instant gratification. You invest in long-term growth. You don't let emotions drive the car. You let vision take the wheel. And that's why she stands out, because while the world moves off reaction, she moves off intention. Every step she takes is guided by something real inside her, and that kind of clarity, it's rare. Most people don't have it. Most people wake up scrolling, comparing, wondering if they're enough. But she's learned that her lane don't require competition. It requires commitment. She's not watching who's ahead or behind. She's focused on building what's hers. See, when you move with purpose, you stop needing recognition. You start finding satisfaction in progress. You don't need to prove your worth through people's approval. Your work, your peace, your consistency starts speaking for you. And that's when everything changes. That's when she starts attracting without trying, because her energy is rooted in something unshakable. She learned that chasing people is exhausting because it's a cycle that never ends. You chase one opinion and then another. You try to please one person and then someone else gets disappointed. But purpose don't play games like that. It's steady, it's reliable, it gives back what you put in. And the truth is, when you stop chasing people, the right ones start appearing. When your focus shifts from attention to alignment, you start meeting people who match your vibration. You start attracting collaborations, friendships, and love that support your mission instead of distracting from it. Because the universe always mirrors intention. Purpose is magnetic, but not in the loud way. It's a quiet pull. It's the reason opportunities start finding you instead of you begging for them. It's the reason peace starts following you when you stop chasing chaos. It's the reason abundance flows when you start operating from meaning instead of fear. I've seen women transform once they stopped asking, "And who's supporting me?" and started asking, "What am I building?" Once they stopped needing validation and started focusing on value, their entire frequency shifted. They stopped dimming their light for people who couldn't handle it. They started walking boldly into their purpose, even when it meant walking alone. Purpose will isolate you before it elevates you. It'll strip you of distractions, fake friends, and comfort zones. It'll test your patience. But every test is preparation. Every delay is redirection. Every rejection is a reminder that you don't need to be chosen when you're already called. She knows that now. She don't waste energy on convincing. She don't chase people who left. She's too busy chasing the version of herself that can't be stopped. That's power, that's freedom. That's what happens when you switch from people driven to purpose driven. And the beautiful thing about walking in purpose, you start to glow differently. Your peace starts speaking louder than your words. Your results start proving what you used to pray for. You start inspiring people who once doubted you, not because you're trying to, but because you're walking proof that purpose works. Purpose don't come easy though. It's not handed to you. It's discovered through pain, through lessons, through time. It's built through losing what you thought you needed and realizing you were the answer all along. It's waking up one day and saying, I don't want to just live, I want to leave something behind. And when she reached that point, everything started aligning, not because she had all the answers, but because she stopped running from herself. Purpose demands authenticity. You can't fake it, you can't copy it, you can't download it from someone else's path. You got to earn it through self-discovery, through faith, through grind. That's why she moves different now. Her conversations got depth. Her vision got clarity. Her peace got weight. She ain't chasing crowds because she knows crowds come and go. She's building legacy, something that'll stand when the noise fades. She attracts without trying because she's moving with intention. And intention, that's the most powerful force in the universe. You get back what you put out. When you move with meaning, the universe moves with you. That's why she don't force connections. She allows alignment. She don't pray for followers. She prays for purpose. She don't ask for attention. She asks for impact. Everything she touches now carries that energy. Her words, her work, her walk, they all speak purpose. And the world can feel it because people can sense when something's real. You can't fake purpose. You can't duplicate it. It's that quiet fire that burns steady while everyone else chasing sparks. She ain't chasing nobody, she chasing growth. And that's the kind of energy that changes lives. Because once you start moving with purpose, you don't just attract what you want, you attract what you're meant for. And that's the kind of alignment no crowd, no validation, no applause can ever replace. She embraces feminine power, not perfection. That's what separates her from the rest. She's not out here trying to live up to a picture the world painted of what she should be. She's not trying to be flawless, she's trying to be real. And in a generation where everybody's pretending, being real is revolutionary. Her strength don't come from having it all together. It comes from being grounded in who she is, even when life tries to shake her. There's power in being real and being soft but strong, graceful but grounded. She's learned that strength and softness ain't opposites, they're balance. She can be nurturing and fearless, gentle and bold, patient and powerful. That's real feminine energy. The kind that builds, heals, and uplifts everything around it. She don't gotta shout to be heard, her presence already speaks. Society told her to hide her emotions, to play small, to toughen up just to be taken seriously. It told her her tears made her weak, her feelings made her unstable, her empathy made her vulnerable. But she learned the truth. Her emotions are her compass, her softness is her superpower, and her heart is her greatest weapon. She stopped apologizing for feeling deeply because she realized that's what keeps her human in a world full of masks. She's seen how perfection traps people. It keeps them chasing an image that don't even exist, always trying to look right, act right, live right, just to be accepted. But she woke up one day and realized perfection was never the goal, peace was. She stopped chasing flawless and started embracing freedom. Freedom to be messy, to be misunderstood, to be in process. Because real growth don't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows, in silence, in seasons where you're figuring yourself out. She attracts without trying because she's not fighting who she is anymore. That's the key. When she was busy trying to fit in, she was shrinking. But when she decided to be unapologetically herself, she expanded. Her energy shifted. Her confidence hit different. She stopped trying to prove and started to be. And when you start being instead of performing, you start attracting instead of chasing. She's not trying to fit a mold. She broke it. She's done trying to meet standards that were never designed for her. She's defining womanhood on her own terms now. She can be independent and still want love. She can be ambitious and still be nurturing. She can walk in power without losing her softness. She's not letting the world make her choose between the two anymore. She understands that her duality is her depth. That's what makes her limitless. This is me, unfiltered, unedited, unstoppable. That's her energy. She's not filtering her truth to make people comfortable. She's not editing her story to fit a narrative. She's standing tall in her imperfections, knowing that every scar, every mistake, every flaw is part of her masterpiece. She's done pretending to be perfect when she was created to be powerful. That kind of realness, that's rare energy. People can't help but feel drawn to it. Because in a world full of facades, truth is magnetic. You ever meet someone who's just real? They don't say much, but you feel something when you're around them. That's her. Her energy feels like home, raw, warm, honest. She don't pretend to have it all figured out, but she got peace in knowing she's becoming, and that's what people feel, that becoming. Authenticity is magnetic. You can't copy it, you can't fake it, you can't buy it. You either own it or you don't. She owns hers fully. Her laughter ain't rehearsed, her pain ain't hidden, her glow ain't filtered. It's all real. She stopped waiting for the world to validate her beauty because she started seeing it in her reflection every morning. Not the kind of beauty that fades with time, but the kind that grows with self-love. She's learned that the most beautiful thing a woman can be is herself, not a version built for approval, but the one that honors her truth. She walks differently now, lighter, freer, because when you stop performing, you stop carrying the weight of people's expectations. You stop chasing acceptance and start walking in purpose. You start attracting people who see you for who you are, not who you pretend to be. Her power is not in perfection, it's in presence. The way she listens when others speak, the way she stands tall in silence, the way she gives without losing herself, the way she turns pain into purpose, wounds into wisdom. She's not scared of her scars. She wears them like reminders of what she survived. Every crack in her armor let light in, and now she shines from places that once hurt. That's real feminine power, the ability to rise without bitterness, to love without fear, to lead without losing grace. She's not moved by trends or titles, she's moved by meaning. Her life is not about appearing perfect, it's about being authentic in every chapter, and because of that, she's untouchable. Not in a way that says, I'm better, but in a way that says, I'm whole. She understands that real beauty is not about symmetry or flawlessness, it's about alignment. When your soul and your spirit walk in sync, it shows in everything you do. That's why she glows even when life gets heavy. That's why she can smile after storms, because she's not pretending everything's fine. She's trusting that it's working for her good. And she knows people will judge what they don't understand. They'll question her choices, her strength, her softness. But she don't let it shake her, because she's no longer living to be understood. She's living to be free. Freedom from pretending, from pleasing, from proving. Freedom to exist as she is. She's learned that perfection disconnects you, but authenticity connects you. When you're real, you give others permission to be real too. You start healing rooms just by walking into them, because your energy carries truth, and truth always cuts through noise. That's why people remember her. That's why her presence lingers, not because she's flawless, but because she's honest. And that honesty, that's where her feminine power lives, in her ability to be soft in a hard world, in her courage to stay open after being hurt, in her strength to rebuild after breaking, in her willingness to keep loving even when it's risky. That's not weakness, that's divine resilience, that's sacred power. She doesn't need to be perfect to inspire, she just needs to be real. Her story, her journey, her scars, they're all proof that perfection was never the goal, becoming was. And she's still becoming every day, more grounded, more self-aware, more powerful. So when people look at her and wonder why she attracts so effortlessly, it's simple. She's not trying to be someone else, she's just being herself. And that's a force the world can't ignore. Because perfection fades, but authenticity lasts forever. She understands silence speaks louder than words. See, in a world where everybody's rushing to be seen, to be heard, to go viral, she's mastered the art of moving in silence. Every move don't need to be announced. Every win don't need to be posted. Every plan don't need to be shared. She knows her growth don't need an audience. Her progress don't need validation. Her power don't need permission. She's comfortable working in the dark because she knows real light don't need a spotlight. It finds its own way to shine. Silence ain't weakness. It's wisdom. It's control. It's understanding that not every voice deserves an answer. Not every opinion deserves attention. And not every opportunity deserves energy. She's not quiet because she's scared. She's quiet because she's focused. And focus is rare in a world full of distractions. Everybody's chasing visibility, but she's chasing victory. She knows the real wins come from consistency, not clout. See, the loudest one in the room is usually the most lost. The one who always gotta prove something, always gotta post something, always gotta talk about what they're doing. That's noise. But the one building in silence, that's presence. That's power. That's the storm before the success. She's the kind that disappears for a while, and when she comes back, she's on another level. People start asking where she been, but she wasn't gone, she was growing. She wasn't hiding, she was healing. She wasn't waiting, she was working. When she finally steps out, people wonder how she did it, how she made that move, how she built that life, how she leveled up so gracefully. But she knows she didn't rush it, she grew it. Growth takes patience, and patience takes discipline. While they were chasing attention, she was chasing alignment. While they were talking about it, she was being about it. Because real elevation happens when nobody's watching, when it's just you, your vision, and your grind. That's why she attracts without trying, because while they were making noise, she was making moves. There's a peace that comes from not needing to prove yourself. When you're confident in your purpose, you don't crave applause. You just keep building, you keep investing in yourself, mastering your craft, protecting your energy. She understands that silence is sacred. It's where God does his best work. It's where ideas turn into empires and pain turns into power. And let me tell you something, silence ain't empty, it's full of answers. When you stop talking and start listening, you start hearing what really matters. You start hearing your intuition again, that inner voice that always knows the way. That's where her strength comes from. That inner stillness that don't need noise to validate it. She's learned that you can't hear your calling over the sound of chaos. You gotta disconnect to reconnect. She knows that when you move in silence, you move with power, because silence protects your progress. Not everybody watching wants you to win. Some people only clap to keep you performing. That's why she keeps her circle small and her plans smaller. She lets results do the talking. You won't hear her say much about what's next, but you'll feel it when it happens. Her success announces itself. She's the type to disappear for a season and come back transformed. And the crazy thing, she never brags about the process. She lets her glow speak. That's maturity. That's the kind of energy that can't be manufactured. You can't fake focus. You can't fake peace. You can't fake power that's built in silence, because silence has its own frequency, and when you're tuned into it, you start attracting people and opportunities that match your energy. There's a lesson in her stillness. She's teaching the world that you don't need to be seen to be successful. You don't need to speak to be understood. You don't need to shout to be heard. Sometimes your silence makes more noise than any words ever could. People feel it when you pull back. They sense that shift. That's when they realize you were the one bringing the real energy all along. She moves like someone who understands timing. She don't rush what's real. She plants, she waters, she waits. She knows what's meant for her will never pass her. That's why she can be silent, because her faith is louder than her fear. She trusts her process even when it's unseen. And that's a different kind of confidence, the kind that don't need constant reassurance, the kind that knows silence is strength. Sometimes silence is the loudest statement you can make. When people expect you to react, but you stay calm, that's power. When they throw shade and you stay focused, that's growth. When they count you out, but you keep working behind the scenes, that's resilience. She's not about proving them wrong anymore. She's about proving herself right. That's a whole different mission. And the truth is, the real ones always move quiet. The hustlers, the visionaries, the builders, they don't waste time trying to convince anyone. They let the work speak. That's how legends are made. Every empire started in silence. Every great idea was once just a whisper in someone's mind. She understands that silence ain't the absence of noise. It's the presence of purpose. It's the sacred space where clarity grows. So when she goes quiet, don't think she's gone. She's just recalibrating. She's aligning her energy, sharpening her focus, protecting her peace. Because peace is her new flex. It's not about proving she's right or showing she's ahead. It's about moving with intention, not impulse. When you operate like that, you become unpredictable. Nobody can block a move they don't see coming. That's her secret. She don't talk about it. She just becomes it. Every time she levels up, it's unexpected, but it's never accidental, because behind every breakthrough was a season of silence, a season where she chose stillness over showing off, discipline over distraction, purpose over popularity. She's mastered the art of disappearing to develop. That's how she keeps evolving. Every time she comes back, she's stronger, wiser, more in tune with herself. That's what makes her energy so magnetic. It's not forced, it's formed through patience, persistence, and peace. So while the world's busy making noise, she's busy making history. Because real moves don't make announcements, they make impact. And she understands that when you let your silence do the speaking, your results echo louder than any words ever could.